Oh, welcome to Ancient Wisdom. Guys, should we be Cozy Wisdom? I think we're getting shadow banned. What should we change? Comment, let us know. We're spitting ideas here. How do we want this to go? We'll see. But
Cozy Wisdom is definitely the first in line for the new name.
yeah, right. I'm already feeling cozy in my robe right now. We're looking good. Evan's got his new spot. Wow, we're looking crisp, man. Gotta say. Oh, dog! Our friends online. Oh, I just can't do this because my ankles are showing. They'd stone me in Arabia. They'd stone me. I'm already pretty stoned. My God. But society's dumber than ever. So welcome back. Oh, yeah. So, I mean, this headline says it all. Meta trained an AI on 48 million science papers, and it was shut down after 2 days. Why do you think that was?
What, like shut down like after it had learned and read all of it?
Yes.
And like it knows kind of.
Yes.
Oh, man.
Maybe too
wonder
much
why.
truth for its own
Yeah,
good.
Yeah, I
perhaps.
thought you guys believe in science.
You'd be
I thought-
able to actually ask it, questions and it would respond without political bias.
Yeah, like honestly.
Yeah.
Fat people are called obese. They should go see a doctor and go on a diet. No, my new conclusion is scientists are racist. Did you guys know that not ugly girls are actually hot?
Men who date women with slim waists are less likely to have performance issues in the bedroom.
Oh my God, what does that mean? I feel like all the headlines now are so PC, you could just change the words to be honest. And I think that's what the AI probably didn't do, and that's why it's messing up. Men who fuck fat bitches can't get it up. I wonder why.
Yeah, we need like a black translator. Be like, we want skinny women.
Skinny women.
We don't want fat bitches.
Nah, if they're black, they love the fat
Oh,
bitches.
true. Especially white fat bitches.
And I recently confirmed that you are a slave. I even double checked this. Cracked open my old Bible. And it's true. In Genesis 47, they define slavery as giving 20% of your crops to the Pharaoh.
Damn, we're like way beyond.
Dog.
We're like 30% tax.
We're fucked.
But we're free.
We're free, goddammit, it's America. In ancient Japan, at least I know that he who had the most rice was the most powerful. If you like showed someone your storeroom of rice, it was like stacked, overflowing out the seams of the door with rice. Everyone's like, this guy, I'm gonna marry his daughter.
He gets all the women with all that rice.
Yeah, he gets all the women. Oh my God. All right, guys, let's get into the show, shall we? This week has week 2 or 3 of these fucking protests. It got me thinking about the old days, right? Everyone's relating this to like the Vietnam protests, the Kent State stuff, this and that, blah, blah, blah. The people that were protesting those things at the time now became today's nuisance to society. Now they're the ones that are destroying us.
Ah.
Am I right? Do you guys agree?
Yeah, they totally swapped roles.
They swapped roles. Why do you think that is? What swapped? Now, this is deep. I think that at a certain point, people, like Poge said, fear. I'm going along with that. That was really good. Once the problem is solved, people don't know how to stop. And everything can be taken to these extremes. Like in the 90s, we had a Black Power Ranger. We had solved racism. We solved the environment. Everybody knew you shouldn't throw your Coke bottle in the river. But then we kept going for some reason.
Put more rules on how to throw your Coke
Oh,
bottles.
yup. Dude,
Your Coke
speaking of
bottle
which,
can go here, but not here.
yeah, dude, Japan is the worst. They have trash every day of the week, but every day is a different trash. One day's cardboard trash. You only throw, dude, it's bad, talk about.
Your fish bones on this day.
Yeah, only fish, only your sushi on this day. Only your nuclear waste on this day.
But the Black Power Ranger had to be the best of the best potential Black Power
Oh,
Rangers.
yeah,
Now
and he was
everybody's
cool.
going to be a Black Power Ranger.
And not to mention, I bet he earned that role.
He was good.
In fact, I know it. He was talented.
Yep.
He earned that role, dude. We didn't just give him a stupid role and the show sucks because of it. They always, they wanted to associate it with an animal, but they only were ever an animal for like 3.5 seconds
In, like, the
before they
Animal
changed
Megazord
into
or
the
something?
Megazord. You ever notice that? There was
That's
like
right.
one episode. There was one episode where they did their individual creatures, and it was the dopest episode. I'm like, do that more. But always like, why would I do a stupid animal when I got a Megazord? We could all go together and kill you in one blast.
Yeah, they never fully expanded on each individual
Yeah.
each individual animal.
Was he the mammoth, or was that the blue one?
I'm looking it up now.
No, you're right. I think it was the mammoth because the
Like
blue
a
was the
black mammoth.
Triceratops.
Blue's a Triceratops.
He was like a giant elephant.
What the fuck? Oh, yes! That's right. It was like a mammoth elephant type thing. Yes, I was right. Fuck yeah. 1 point for me. I think finally, we're behind the gates. I think for years, people wanted illegals in the country. They didn't care because it wasn't behind their pearly gates, their gated community. But now, am I right? We're in the Ivy League schools. This nonsense has now come into my neighborhood finally. It's not just an idea of like I could say, oh, poor blacks, poor Mexicans coming into the country. Now they're here. Now they're in my university, ruining my school. That's why the Jews are taking all their money out of these schools that they used to donate to. Am I right?
I want to add
Does this
that.
sound real? Does this ring true?
Yes, I want to add that this just happened like 2 days ago. All the migrants that have been living in New York City, like in the hotels and stuff, they finally, you know, all their 30 days, 90 days, 60 days, all that stuff is expired. So now they're like, everyone's kicking them out. All the housing units are kicking them out, and they're literally in the street. So you know what they did? They went to the city hall and they like protested. All the migrants that are not
Oh
U.S.
my
citizens
God,
were
they're joining
protesting
it.
for their not real U.S. rights
Wow.
in front of the city hall of New York.
Yup, and people who actually own those properties or take pride in their alma mater, now they're embarrassed. They're like, oh God, a bunch of liberals and weird people are now taking over my school, the school I went to, making me look bad.
Yeah, this is what I funded for all these decades
Yeah,
of
oh my God.
donating back to school. This is what I created.
Yep, not to mention all your rich friends are probably Jews too, and they're like, this doesn't look good. And finally they're starting to talk about it, even on Fox News. Like, you didn't think they would have such a problem with this. I have no problem with this. I think this is great. If the
Why do you say that?
leftists want to get expelled, go for it. Dude, I have to
honestly-
sit back as a white. I'm sitting back and laughing at this. This is the best news that I've heard in years, probably now,
It's
since
the
COVID.
libs fighting the libs. Just,
Let them kill. Let them eat themselves alive.
Let the dead bury the dead.
Let the dead bury the dead. And it made me think about, you guys remember in early episodes of Ancient Wisdom, I had this sort of dark moment where I said, the world isn't going to change unless there's a mass awakening, unless Jesus himself comes down and intervenes personally. But I kind of realized that Jesus himself doesn't really need to come down to earth and show himself. The aliens don't need to reveal themselves because there's things already happen. God finds a way. And maybe it's in stuff like this protest or irony, the funny situations that happen. If you really sit back as I do and think about, wow, this is the best thing that could have happened right now. They're eating themselves alive.
It's a nice hidden joke
You know what I mean?
from the Lord.
From the Lord. I think the Lord intervenes through irony, through jokes, through like making people make stupid mistakes time and time again.
Really show themselves in the mirror,
Yes.
the universal mirror
Right.
of what's happening to you right now.
But I suspect it's the same thing as the hippie movement. I think people are caught in these loops time and time again. Like people in the 70s, 80s, whatever, talking about climate. And now climate is like our biggest enemy, the shit that we could just let go of. I think people are having a fake religious awakening now, and everybody's turning to Christianity, and they don't even know what to believe. And it got me thinking about Jesus coming down, mass awakening, enlightenment. How do we awaken as a individual, as a nation, as a world? You guys ever thought that there's more to this life than what we see? Why is this really happening? There's more to the story than meets the eye always. Why do we react in the ways that we do? Have you ever wanted to just leave it all behind, go to the spiritual realm where it really doesn't matter?
If I may, I think that maybe people are too concerned with the substance, and really they should look at the space between the threads of life. And what I mean is really like not the things, but the connections between the things, the connections between, say, the people.
Deep.
Yeah, the space
The
between.
connection, the space between the love, the relation.
It's not that's not the thing. It's how the thing affects the other thing.
Right. Now, there's ways to reach enlightenment that we have forgotten. And I think they are ubiquitous throughout every religion, but they become mistranslated. We lose them in all the nonsense and all the idol worship, that modern religion has become. I'll run through these quick. Let me know what you guys identify with, and we could break it down further if you want. The 6 upaya: meditative, devotional, wisdom-seeking, action-oriented, yoga, and tantric. Have you heard some of these before?
I've heard tantric,
Yep.
which is probably the one I don't understand the most.
Oh, good. Hell yeah. Good question. Well, I'll get right into it. So tantric and devotional. I'm like, what do these mean? Everything else is sort of self-explanatory. Meditative, you sit there, wisdom seeker, you learn all you can about the universe. These are the people that read books constantly and are always seeking the advice of elders to know the secret of the universe, to know the truth within thyself, to calm down and be one with God. And of course, there's action-oriented, which is also a little self-explanatory. Giving back, doing things for others as your karmic value.
Does it have to be for others?
Typically service for others. It's sort of I guess it doesn't have an action oriented. It's the doing. It's the being part of the community to come back to the one, I believe.
That sounds like it'd be most effective, though I haven't really been
Yeah.
that selfless in my life. I haven't really donated or gone to soup kitchens or anything
That's
like
why I
that.
asked if it has to be.
Yeah. Do I really got to go outside? And I'll
can I-
tell you what, this
can I
is
do
the
it for
one
me?
that's lacking most in society now, I think,
Yeah.
overall. But here's the thing. I think it's my theory that individual souls and their karmic debts, they identify with one of these over others, because really they all fit into these categories. And then of course yoga, body manipulation, tantric is sort of the little more esoteric one, to answer your question, Poach.
Yeah, what is
we got
it?
like rituals, mantras, diagrams,
Oh my God.
visualization, the really trippy stuff, probably crystals
My
and stuff
charts.
too. Charts, yeah, like art, drawn,
That
weird,
stuff scares me, man.
mandalas.
Did I ever tell you that when I was a kid, I pulled up the top card off a deck of tarot, and it was the death card.
And I was enlightened. Oh no! Whoa, shit! What does that mean?
The first card I drew was the death card. Never.
That's just telling you stay away from fucking.
I was so scared.
Not
I
that
never touched it
upaya.
again.
Yeah, right. Different. That's sick.
Never went back.
Wow. that's like it was Jesus coming down. Don't be doing this shit.
Yeah.
Don't be doing this demon shit.
They seem to all have one thing in common, in that they take you away from your mind and your ego. They even
ego,
though
yep.
one is really action oriented, I feel like they're all action oriented.
I suppose so. You have to take action. You have to set it in motion.
Right, because even the meditative, you are sitting there and doing nothing, but you're not unconsciously doing nothing.
Yeah, in time there is progression. So therefore it is doing. This is doing, right? The upaya is a doing that leads to being. Now, does that make sense? Should I slow that down? It is the doing, the upaya, it's the method, so that one can finally just be. And I think that our individual souls and our karmic debts identify with one of these above all else. Do one of these call out to you? I really think, I'll agree though off the bat, that we're missing the action oriented. I think
That's my favorite.
yeah. Oh, see.
That's my favorite. That's the one that struck out to me.
Oh,
Popped out
sick.
right away.
Damn, Poach, maybe you should give back.
Because I was, you know
Start
why?
volunteering.
I think my brain and body just feel good when I'm doing stuff.
Yeah.
And I don't like reading. Okay, sure, it stimulates the brain, but I like the mind body combo. Maybe
Yeah.
mind body spirit combo. Got to move.
Yeah, deep. On the go, seeing the fruits of your labors in the action oriented, just the way it's described. I'm sure it's broader than this,
Seeing the
but
fruits
giving
is a big
back.
one because I can see the results.
Right.
These other ones, wisdom seeker, devotional. I'm like, I don't know how to gauge if it's working.
Right. And they're all ways,
this
like Evan
working?
said, of putting you outside of yourself. And that's the biggest one in the upaya, in the means. Like, is this working? It's the constant demon that's eating at
Oh,
you, the
really?
Tao.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, is
Am I
this
doing
working?
it?
Am I even making it? That's the demon that's counteracting the upaya. But that's the karma, the dharma to the karma, which is, I'm starting to learn now too, that everybody has their own karma, and that's kind of why they're doing what they do. They almost can't help it to a certain degree. It's the doing of life. You believe what you believe, and if you could accept someone even though they're a liberal and you're not, and just kind of have the connection be your love for them, then that's the deepest form.
And that one, the action-oriented one, I feel like that's most involved with people.
Yeah.
But I think where it's bastardized and there's so many demons out there is because they might not do any of those, but they say, you should do these.
Yeah.
You should help people and be selfless, but they are the most selfish. They project onto others what they should be doing.
Yeah, gotta watch out for those. Watch out for those fake spiritual people for sure. I always thought I identified more with the yoga. I gotta move. And these are all things, think about it, like Evan said, that gets you out of yourself. That's all it is. Meditative, you're joining the spiritual realm. Devotional, it's also a way to get back. Devotional is like surrender to a deity or guru or principle or just deep into prayer. I don't know if I went over that one either. Devotional. It's like probably the monks retreating away and just doing their devotion. It gets you out of yourself, puts you more in the God spirit. There's the old story from the Zhuangzi, which was the cleaver of the butcher, how it would just cut through the joints so easily. After 20 years, he's still using the same knife when everybody else needs a new knife every 6 months. He just cut through because the knife would find its way. He became enlightened through butchery.
What?
Isn't that interesting?
I don't see how that's possible.
When you do something repetitively, time and time again, you find the art that butchery, as well as anything in this universe, is the same as enlightenment, is the same as doing. Because they say, once one becomes enlightened, let me put it this way. They say, before enlightenment, chop wood, carry water. After enlightenment, can you guess?
Chop wood, carry water.
Boom! Like, does anything really change, or is it your perspective of things that are going on? Like, what is enlightenment? I think some people think, as you were saying, that you just go into some spiritual realm, you're perfect, you're flying, you have magical powers, and maybe you do, but the whole point of having the powers is that you would never use them for evil, and that's why they're given to you. And that's why Jesus could do all these things.
Enlightenment also doesn't enlightenment doesn't affect the world. Enlightenment only affects you.
Deep, yep.
So why would anything change in your life after you become enlightened?
Deep, very deep.
That's why I think wisdom seeking is probably the most destructive one, because we have an idea of what enlightenment looks like through exaggerated stories of Jesus and the Buddha and stuff like that.
Buddha hovering.
It's like how do I walk on water? How do I get to that point?
Yeah.
But then it's almost like a curse, because you might tell yourself in your physical brain that I could never get to that point. I can't walk on water. But maybe that was just put in there to deceive,
Yeah, and maybe that's a part of wisdom. Or, maybe we could change the word yet again and say truth seeking instead of wisdom seeking. It becomes a little deeper, because we're finding out what is actually true. We are seeking what is actually true in this world. And as we know from ancient wisdom, do we not, that there's not much truth in this world. It's very hidden. There's not much you could say for sure and know 100% completely that it works for you, for everyone else in this universe, on the other side of the universe. It can't be proven. We don't know that. I think people would gain wisdom, would gain truth in knowing that. And perhaps seeking the wisdom is knowing that you then know not, that you could never know, and then you finally let go, and it's leaving of the self. Now that's fucking deep.
I agree. I think the biggest obstacle to knowing is thinking that you know.
There it is, dude. And that's what upaya is. It's doing and doing and doing. The gurus always say, they set you on a task that you know and everybody knows is impossible. You can't do the task. And that's the point of the task, is that it's impossible. There's nothing to do. There's nothing to gain. And when you finally see it, they say, you're enlightened.
Damn.
Right? When you finally see the inevitability of it all, the
futility,
the futility of it all, that's when you finally are realizing true truth.
Yeah, and it's like, why would my master give me this impossible task?
Right.
Maybe because he knew all along that I couldn't do it, and it was just for me to know for myself that I can't do it.
God, you know what's the phrase? Pursuing in your folly, become wise.
Yep,
that's kind of what it is. You keep doing and doing and trying, but the fact that you're trying is sort of like identifying with karma.
Like the butcher, he just did what he did.
Did what he did.
Yep.
Because maybe what you learn from psychedelics or deep meditation is that there's like nothing to do. I think people in this realm think there's always something to do. I got to do this. I got an appointment. I got my job. But like, what are you really doing? It's nice, like Poach said, when you could build something and see the fruits of your labor, but otherwise there's nothing to do. You're living now and you're going to die.
This is why I said it's really important to pay attention in between the strands. Because things themselves intrinsically have no value. They only have value when you relate them to other things.
Maybe that's where the truth really is, man. It's not the thing, it is the relationship of the thing.
I've always said that,
That's cool.
all I could really find to be like the purpose and the point of life is like the relationships between other people, not your own experience, but the relationships you have with others in this experience.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
They
It's
say
all
it's the
about
only
the
thing we
connections.
value at the end of life as well, like the connections, family, spending time with people, seeing yourself in others.
I think so, because in my own life lately, when I'm locked inside, and they say people with the seasonal affective disorder, staying inside all winter or whatever, just the mere act of going outside, I think you have more potential to realize your connection with everything around you. Just last night when I go outside, I just got out of a funk. I heard the frogs, the birds, the owls, the breeze, the cars, every human being passing in its own universe going by me.
That's
It's
cool.
easier to identify these things as myself happening around me, whereas being inside of a house, walls around you, it's hard to see the goings on of everything that is also a reflection of you. You start to get into a thought, some kind of dark place, then you hear a frog or you hear something of nature, and it's like, whoa, is that God telling me to snap out of it?
Yeah.
It's deep, man.
I feel like that's like what the ancients would call like a spell too, because really think about this. The natural state of man is outside in that backyard listening to the frogs. That's where man has always been. But you put yourself in a house. Another name for a house is a box. You're lost in nothingness. I can't hear the outside. There's four walls. I just hear my own voice.
Yeah.
And you could go crazy. It's not real.
You're bound to be depressed that way.
Yeah, I'm in a box, in a cage. When life, this is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about with enlightenment. Like, this is not real. You really have to think about that. Real is outside with nature. This is a nice respite if I want to get away from the mosquitoes and people trying to kill me. That's great. But this isn't life. I think so many times we think that this is life and our job and our cubicle and our house and our video games. But life is out there. This is the respite. It was supposed to be the respite. It was always supposed to hide for the winter, hide from the enemies, and a place to make fire and make food so that you can go back out there. But we
Sleep
don't
and
go back out
recharge.
there.
Just sleep and recharge. Because
that's all it was. Sleep and safety.
In a house, I feel like you can realize these things. Because the house is performing an action on you. It's housing you.
Oh yeah,
you're living in it, but it is you. It is living you.
And that's wisdom seeking too, because living in the house on top of that is pursuing your folly.
Yep.
Because if I don't stretch for a long time, my body says you got to stretch.
I'm thinking of it now.
Yeah. Ooh, there it
Getting
is.
too slouched up in here.
You know, you live in a house for too long, you get driven crazy. Why? Maybe at first you don't know why, but then the truth hits you through your folly. Whereas maybe if you're living outside the whole time, maybe you don't get enlightenment because that's just how it is. It needs that change. It needs that karmic battle. You sort of do need to persist in a certain folly. Maybe you do something else if you're outside.
That's why I felt so evil leaving my cat inside when obviously he's unhappy about he can't
Especially
attain
the
enlightenment in here.
Yeah,
He's got to
that's not his
see
environment.
everything going on out there.
He's in a
even if it's
cage,
dangerous.
therefore he acts as a cage.
Yep.
You know, when you remove yourself from the dwelling, the appreciation of it comes way higher when you're
There
away
it
from
is. If that's not wisdom, I don't know what is. And I suppose we could say that about anything. A good meal, you know. I've taken to just fasting throughout the mornings. And oh, my workout's better. Oh, I'm overcoming something, right? That's why I do cold exposure as well, because you overcome something. You have earned something. You have earned the nice shower that you're going to take, earned the food that you're going to take. And it's so much sweeter. And you could get through it, especially that you know it's just a brief challenge. It makes it that much easier that you could get through it and you're just becoming stronger in the meantime. So I think, needless to say, what these protests have taught me is that we could become too attached to the world. So I'm reigniting my spiritual journey inward. These people are too attached to the world, and if you watch too much news, you could be attached to it too. And it's unfortunate, and people sort of have the wrong idea when they think of going to God, isn't that dogmatic? No, I think you're being dogmatic. I don't think God has dogma.
Damn, that's deep.
God, if you think of him as the Tao, just doing what's right and seeking wisdom to find truth. No, the world has wisdom. The world has rules of how you can and can't act. Not
Nope.
God, baby.
I almost want to say that dogma is whatever person's definition of God at the time.
Yep. And there it is. And then is it really God?
And
Deep.
dog backwards is God.
Oh my
You can just
God.
say my God.
The dogma of these people protesting, that their dogma is to be rebellious and angsty and act
always
out.
rules.
And it's like it's they're being driven rather than driving. It's
I like
weird.
it because so this is what I was gonna say, right? Because I think the people that follow this dogma, whether it be fake religious people or people on campus, they end up doing wrong every time. As we started this segment with the protesters who became evil over time because they could let it get away with them. That's the problem. That's dogma. That's evil. Whereas God, if you become enlightened and you become one with the true God, you don't have to follow the rules because the rules are written on your heart. You don't have to kill somebody, or excuse me, you know that you shouldn't kill somebody.
But yet they're being driven to attack people. Like you saw
Right.
that Jewish girl who got like knocked out cold
Yeah.
at one of the universities. But then you get to think, what drove the Jewish girl to show up to a place where where she knows they hate her?
Probably Yahweh. God doesn't need a dogma because if you're with him, these things are already known. And I think the evil comes in when you start thinking that you know what God wants. If you're enlightened, you already know. There's no thinking that you know what God wants.
Right.
Therefore, there is no dogma. And if you have dogma that you're literally religiously sticking to, you probably have a problem and you're probably praying to Satan. And that's been Mitch's segment. Now on to Ancient Quotes with Evan.
There's nothing in a caterpillar that tells you it is going to be a butterfly.
That's true. That is true.
What is that? What is that a metaphor? How does that?
I know you don't like this, Evan, but this is the wisdom-seeking upaya. Because you don't know. You don't know. And nothing about the caterpillar says anything about a butterfly. Never can, never will.
That's true.
You sure it's not tantric? He's
doing like
he's
hand
going
symbols.
into a cocoon, and then he's
People either need to shut the hell up or I accept karma. And I can't control what you do. I can only control what I do. And I think that the caterpillar is the reason we as humans always bring up the caterpillar thing is because we don't know and because we would expect it. First time they saw a butterfly, you wouldn't think it's the same thing on that branch over there. Nah, but it is,
Right.
supposedly, in a different form. So it's like it's a little wink from God yet again saying, what can you know about me? Stop it. There's no way.
Damn, God. So what I hear you
Quit it.
saying is that God saying, "Hey, man, stop thinking you're me.
Yeah,
Stop pretending like you got it all figured out."
that's what it is. Because there's no way you would have known. If a dog turns into a dragon, you'd be like, what the fuck, man? If a caterpillar turns into a butterfly, the first dude who saw that, if I didn't read in the book, I wouldn't know. If I didn't read The Hungry Caterpillar, I wouldn't know.
I think that's so applicable on so many levels because it kind of drives me crazy. I hear women say this a lot. It's like, "Oh, they'll never change." I think it's a disgusting box to put someone in.
Yeah, 'cause you
to-
don't know.
to say that this person's always going to be the same. It's like that is satanic to say that you can't really know if someone's ever going to change.
And much
or
like the
not.
Jewish protesters or the Palestinian protesters, you don't know. You don't even know what's right. You know why? Because there are no groups, dummy. There are no peoples. There are individuals who are all taking their own upaya or not. but they have their karma to play out anyway. And that's why I said I could accept their karma. They feel like they need to protest for some reason.
Man, that's the biggest trick of all.
It's the deepest trick because much like them versus them, me versus you, that versus that, it's also my idea versus their idea.
Wow, they think that somebody in their group is actually an ally until they go home later, have a disagreement about what to eat for dinner.
Oh, yeah.
Man.
It's personal. Like there is no group. It's only ego.
Because even I think they're in a group. When I see them, I fall for that trick too. I'm like, man, those people.
Yeah.
You know? But it's really just a bunch of lost souls is what it is.
Right.
Jeez.
And the second you start sort of judging them or have a thought, it's like, are you any better than them? You
Right.
might as well be Russia versus Ukraine. You might as
Man.
well be Israel versus Palestine. They think it's this proof of hope when you see a caterpillar turn to a butterfly. Oh, that'll be
I'm
me
gonna
too.
Be like that. Yeah. I immediately thought of black women who's like, I'm gonna be equally yoked, baby.
Oh shit. and that's not really what it's saying. It's saying credit to the moment that you
Yeah.
don't know. All you know is that right now I'm a caterpillar. Whether tomorrow I'm a butterfly or not, I don't know.
Yep.
And the best thing you could do is accept that.
Yeah, just think of people saying like, "Get up to my level. I'm a butterfly."
I'm a
baby."
butterfly. Have you heard people say that?
Something like that. Well, I've
I'm
heard.
gonna start using it.
I've heard black women say it's
I'm
like,
a butterfly.
he needs
I'm
to
beautiful.
get on my level. Anyways,
Black women need to stop being black men. God.
all right. So, speaking of the psychedelics earlier, Terrence McKenna might have heard of him.
Oh, dare you?
We are not pushed from behind the casual unfolding of historical necessity, but that we are in the grip of an attractor of some sort, which lies ahead of us in time.
Oh man, Poj, what do you take from Dad?
You knew I was going to say something.
Oh,
You knew
it's
I
my
was-
enlightenment.
This is the unspoken drive of the human race. Whether we like it or not, we're crazy about building new things.
The doing.
Why? Why do we have to make the thing better? Oh, we have this one. It's faster, better than before. More shiny, more sleek, more aerodynamic. Before you know it, after 16 redesigns, it's a completely new thing, and we're going to keep redesigning it. What is that?
Yeah.
What is that?
You know, I think the old Mitch would have said it's all just like this eternal clout chase, and maybe it is to a degree, but more to what you're saying, it feels like a spiritual pull. Like you're on this earth, you're gonna die. You're like, I gotta do something.
Right? Yeah, it's nothing to do with what happened already.
Yeah.
But when you put it all together,
If they are doing it for a spiritual purpose, for enlightenment, but they're probably not. They're probably just saying, I'm afraid to die. I got to do something. So let's keep doing it.
well, maybe this is the action upaya run amok
Yeah,
out of fear and anxiety.
that's true. That's like a big theme today. I think that's very true. I think there is this, much like the Garden of Eden or any ancient tale you could think of, it starts off good, and then even a good thing you could have too much of. Even the best of things die. Things disintegrate. The Kali Yuga, which we're now in.
Is that our era?
That's our era.
Is it a bad one?
It's the bad one. It's the bad one. It's this one.
I think that right there, though, in between those two extremes, is where we might be able to find grace.
Like, why couldn't we stop at Power Rangers?
Right? Exactly.
What made us make Mighty Morphin Teenage Mutant Power Rangers 2000?
Now we've got talking pig humanoid cartoons.
Yeah.
And nonsense that doesn't make any sense. At least a person in a costume is
It
cool
was fine.
enough.
It was good.
Yeah.
We're going to get into Poj being depressed about music, too, but music was better back then. It was real.
What about Ed, Ed, and Eddie?
It took me years to like Ed, Ed, and Eddie.
I almost
Took me
still
years. It was good. I liked it. It was good, but I didn't watch it for like 6 years
Because it looked gross.
because it looked so fucking ugly.
don't. Ugly kids in a white trash
and
trailer park.
disgusting.
Here.
Everybody's like got boogers in it. It was too real. Like I was in a trailer park with a bunch of trashy fucking white. Oh my god!
like the
Snot
cankers?
nose.
The cankers.
They're called cankers. Oh my god! Yeah.
The food
Like,
they
why
ate
did they
was
think that
just
was a
like-
good idea?
The food they ate was just slop too. It wasn't
Jesus
even any
Christ.
meat or like regular.
But anyway, I a little facts about Terrence McKenna, right? Let me know what you guys think about this. Is that we touched on it a while ago, but he thought that God was at the end of time. Have you ever considered that?
No.
That maybe God, maybe it's not at the beginning, not around us, but I believe he thought God was sort of at the end of time, and the only thing that progression is, the only thing that now is what he called a novelty-producing machine.
Whoa.
I could see maybe
Right?
the end of life. Like, I feel like there is profound peace as you're dying, or like the moments before you die.
And
as
perhaps
you're-
that's what the universe is.
Right.
But what do you guys think about novelty-producing machine?
It's
He
like
thinks
you
God
said.
is already at the end. He's been there, if you could call that time. We're being sucked toward it, and everything has to be new. We split cells. Just split.
It's like you said, there's nothing actually happening. You said that if you're looking for an actual thing to cling to, or we talked about, if you're looking for a thing to cling to in this life, you're not going to find it.
Yeah.
Because there's nothing happening.
Because there's nothing happening.
There's
Nothing to
actually
cling
happening.
to.
We're just
Couldn't do it if you
changing
wanted.
locations and going
Yeah.
upside down and right side up again.
Bro, that's kind of why Timothy
Damn.
Leary wanted everyone to take acid once, because you realize you're just running around in a pile of shit.
I
There's
think that's beautiful.
Nothing to do. Yeah, and it is, but you have to let a part of the ego die to even be able to accept that you don't have control over your schedule, over what you're going to do today, everything.
I really love that infinite novelty point, because at point at first I didn't agree with that, but now I'm thinking when you really do notice things around you, there really is novelty around every corner. Like I was talking about the example earlier of noticing the stars and the breeze and the animals, and that every moment, even if you hear the same animal, same type of animal, it still inspires wonder in you.
Yeah,
Kind of thing.
Even
It
if
is
you've been
very
hearing it
novel.
for thousands of years.
Because you
whatever
could
it
be in a
is.
different headspace or mood that day, and it'll have a
Wow.
totally different resonation with you.
Deep.
So, what do you think about God being at the end of a novelty-making machine?
I say there's no way to prove that it's not.
Do you
Fair
think
enough.
God made the novelty making machine to be a novelty?
Oh my God, then we have to define time.
Or
And why
was-
is he hanging out at the end? It's like a girl at the finish line.
I was gonna say that I don't know if I like this. I like the structure of God being in all things at all times.
Yeah.
I like that one.
And
that we
perhaps,
are
you
part
know-
of God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, right now, all the time.
Yeah.
I don't
like
think
that.
God would have any business hanging out at the end. I think he wants to be in the action.
Yeah. Yeah. It feels more masculine.
Yeah, when he's at the
exactly.
end, it makes it almost sound like an indifferent God.
Yeah.
Like I'll see you at the end.
Yeah, I'll see
Yeah.
when all this
Right.
is
Yeah.
over with. Although you could if you read the Old Testament, you could kind of see it. He's like, I'm not hanging out here. I'll see you, when you're done figuring all this stuff out.
Once the flood's gone, I'm here.
It's a little dangerous. I don't want to. But yeah, I could kind of see it. Or maybe it's deeper than that. We're just all using words, of course. But maybe he did mean that he's here as well, but he is the force that is pulling. Like, of course, the Tao we're going to get into later. The Tao is this movement. That's all we could really define, would you guys say, right? So far, is that Tao is this movement. I always use this word progression because I can't even call it time because I don't know what that is. But things seem to progress from then to now. They seem to, anyway.
Effortlessly, too.
Yeah.
All right, so here it is. AI has finally done it. Produced music. All right, I'm gonna give you some song names. Just pick the one that you want. You got "Lost Love," "Crater Lullaby," "Neon Pulse."
Yeah, hit me with Lost Love.
"Lost Love." Let's hear "Lost Love,"
Crater.
made by a robot.
Hey, I just wanted to say I really enjoyed last
They even got a little vocal sample in the beginning.
fun.
It's all fake.
Let's do it again sometime.
They even got a little fake phone call.
Off into the sunset. Head back on the headrest.
And this is all fake.
It's all fake.
A computer.
It's all fake computer.
Baby, we're not perfect. I know you're just worth it. I
Skip to the hook.
leave so soon. Always have each other. I want you to reconsider. I won't be without you.
It's like all this big build, and then
I still remember our first date. It was that Friday back in '88.
let's see Crater Love.
To see Moonstruck.
That's the created love.
How does AI know what perfect is? She used the word perfect.
Oh man, she thinks she perfect. This is Crater Love.
With each step on the moon dust.
Yes.
Is this Reba McIntyre?
Yeah, right. That's who they're copying.
One vast jump leaves the world so far away, like a lone space cowboy. Yeah, riding
So-
past the craters wide.
I feel like it's a little pitchy for me, dog.
A little fishy for me, dog.
So the
I
lyrics,
thought it was horrible.
yeah, it's not great music,
Yeah.
but it's sounding like people.
Dog, so I learned a lot. Learned a lot in this moment.
Yeah.
But one thing that sticks out right away is that AI is not cool. AI doesn't know what cool is.
It's just regurgitating lines that rhyme.
Yeah, lines that rhyme
Yeah.
that sort of fit the theme. But part of music is you got to be cool. You got to be clever.
Well, those are also female AI tracks, which
Oh,
were
well.
all about breaking up.
Oh my God. There
You
it
guys-
is.
So there's no cool
Except
in
a
that.
Space Cowboy. That was kind of cool, but
So
they hit the wrong chords.
This one is weird to me because this section I didn't see before, the jazz section. I just noticed this
oh,
just
we got
now.
some jazz, like no lyrics.
No lyrics, I think. So I'm going to play Swingin' Stardust.
Well, I could see that'd be fun.
Let's see that.
This is fake.
This is fake.
See, I could deal with this. I love this.
Sounds like Duke Ellington.
Yeah.
I wouldn't know the difference.
Dude, if you told me this was a real recording, I'd believe you.
Yeah.
This sounds like Duke Ellington trumpet playing.
Now,
Yo, that's hot.
now I'm a little concerned.
Dude.
It also didn't it sound like a person who lost their mind playing that piano.
Yeah,
It was
definitely did.
ding.
Like, honestly, like, I can't tell if I'm just because I know now, but when I hear that, I kind of think this person lost their mind.
Yeah.
I could almost tell that a human wouldn't play it that way.
No.
Right.
I could just be saying that right now, and nobody has to believe me, but I could kind of tell that was a robot.
Like they had a stroke mid piano riff.
Yeah,
or
like they
something
wouldn't play
that.
those riffs. Even the most like amphetamine out 1940s trumpet, they wouldn't play it like that.
Yeah.
Do you want to maybe try one more jazz track?
Yeah, sure. Because the jazz are the only ones that I could kind of believe, though. If there's too much lyrics, it's too lame.
Right, and it's also like, oh, a person didn't write this. This is Chat GPT's lyrics.
Yeah,
You
for
could
sure.
tell, you could tell.
100%.
All right, this one is called Funkadelic Euphony.
All right. Can't really get rhythm wrong, so that's cool.
The bass.
Dude.
This hurts.
You said they couldn't be cool, Mitch.
I think I could tell, dude.
I can tell.
I think I could tell. Wow.
No one would play this.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Just like little inconsistencies, too. And it's not just a funky inconsistency. It's not a jazzy.
I can't even hear the phrasing. It's like, again,
Yeah.
the person lost their mind.
Yeah.
The guitarist lost their
Whoa,
mind.
they don't have a soul, dude. Just
That's
a
what it is.
program. I kind of This is how I kind of imagined it. Whoa, that's so weird, bro. I'm freaking out.
Yeah.
I can't listen to this.
So with that said, I warned you guys that it might be tough. But I don't know.
Wow.
Since we heard it. I don't know if you want to go into this segment. Or
I
talk
needed to
about
know.
it.
I needed to learn.
Yeah.
You can't feel the vibration on the strings when someone's doing like a vibrato or something like that. There's no
can see
cool, like you said.
Yeah.
I could tell now a little bit.
Even in the instrument, maybe there's no soul. Maybe I could use that word literally.
Wow.
They have a whole
That
music
actually
genre called
applies
soul, and this
now.
applies. Y'all ain't got no soul. You really got no soul.
Right.
It's not just a black guy talking to a white guy who wants to play funk. No, this person literally has no soul.
So that was also the first time I heard the instrumentals, because I only listen to the pop music at home.
I'd say better.
It's better, but
Yeah.
There's certain
yeah.
phrases like if you played me 2 seconds or whatever, I'd be like, oh, that's anything. But if I'm really, I can't tell. Obviously,
There's
because
syncopation
you told
in there.
me,
Like you wouldn't sit down and write it like that. Like,
Yeah.
you wouldn't even think of those timings and time signatures, because they're almost like not good or natural.
And the closest thing I could relate it to is Japanese jazz.
Oh yeah.
You feeling me on this one?
Yeah.
Comment, y'all.
Yeah.
All these animes got these Japanese jazz, and it's Japanese people trying to be jazz
Soulful.
players.
Trying to have soul.
Yeah, trying to have
American
soul.
soul.
But y'all don't have soul. So what I hear when I hear like Japanese people play jazz, I could tell that they're trying, because jazz, funk, everything's American. It's all American. So if someone from other countries plays this style of music, you're playing an American style, but you're not American.
Maybe
You don't have the full experience, and I could tell. So it sounds like
Wow.
somebody whose brain broke. They don't get the culture, but they've heard a lot of songs. They've heard a lot of jazz songs, so they know generally the style, and that's what this computer knows. It knows all the rules.
Right.
It knows the data, but it doesn't got this. It's not truly American.
Maybe soul is the right word then for
Maybe
that.
that's what it is.
Because I heard on the first jazz one we listened to, I heard just a couple pop guitar notes that didn't really sound like it was plucked. It was just like added in there.
I can see it.
Kinda
So
thing.
it's all fake, right?
So when they make this, it gets generated kind of the same way as the images. Like first the images appear blurry, then they get more refined, and you're like, oh, okay, that's a person, that's a bird, and then they get more refined, and then you have a beautiful painting on like the Midjourney images that we use on the show.
yeah.
This is doing the same thing. If you were to listen to it
Weird.
halfway through being done, it would be full of noise, but you would still hear like radio static. Like you would hear
Really?
you would hear the song
Coming
coming
together.
together. Yeah, so it's
Whoa.
not recorded. It's not.
That's insane. It's music that wasn't recorded.
Yeah.
It's like 3D printed.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
created.
yeah. It's so weird.
Wow.
So weird. My theory in all this.
Yeah.
This is actually going to be only good for one group of people. Live musicians. Live instrumentalists at that. People that don't sing. I say this because if you sing, they're going to think it's just a voiceover lip sync of an AI.
You lying bitch.
If you're there sitting playing a wooden instrument, that will be the only thing left to impress people.
Damn.
That will be the only thing left.
Dog, I gotta say. I still think they don't care.
And they still even if you're playing an amazing,
Damn.
beautiful classical guitar,
I gotta be honest from my heart. I still think people are like, this is gay.
well, you answered my second question, because that was the question.
Oh,
coming
really?
next. Yeah, like, will people care?
Oh, man.
And you answered it.
Wow,
You got it.
there it is.
I liked a little bit of that jazz. I thought that was cool.
I think, so I mean, the point remains, I think people will listen to it. It's certainly easier, quicker to make than me recording an album. Why if you're looking for something new, just have a computer make it. There's conversations to be had about what inspires you. Like maybe if it doesn't have soul, it's not inspired. It is like interesting to listen to, which brings up my point that I've been thinking about music recently, is that people don't care because I think we haven't cared about musicianship in a long time. I think people care more about the final product. They care about how it makes them feel at the party at 3 a.m.
Yep.
in the club. Is it banging? And you get extra special points if it's funny. Is it entertaining? I break it down to that simple phrase. Does it entertain me? Do I even care about, wow, that guy worked for 30 years to play those licks? Nah. Because it lasts 2 minutes, and I say, am I entertained? You get extra points if you have cool lyrics, deep lyrics, or funny lyrics.
Well, and just think of what the dumb festival girl always says, like, this is my vibe.
Yep. The vibe.
She doesn't care anything about the musicianship.
Think about that. There's 2 words in that phrase. My vibe. Right?
Yeah,
It's mine.
it's mine.
It's about me. It's all about me. It's mine. And it's a vibe. It's not your song. It's not your musicianship. It's my vibe.
They don't care.
How I feel, in other words.
They don't care.
They
You're
don't
right.
care. Whether it's a robot, Justin Bieber, or Sexbot, it's all the same. Wow.
Mitch, I want to leave you guys with a Bible verse. After
As
that.
all AI talks should.
Psalms 33, verse 2. Praise the Lord with the harp. Make music to him on the 10-stringed lyre. Sing to him a new song. Play skillfully and shout for joy.
Dang, I never heard that one.
If I was in a Christian church, I'd go like this. Wow.
Play skillfully and shout for joy.
It means to me that there's no joy in music anymore.
Jam. And there was in King David's time.
So I would
That
counter-
lyre was too good, man.
I would say that there was joy in King David's time.
Uh.
You know why? And I think I'll leave you guys with this. The last safe haven for musicians will be jamming in front of their friends and community like King David did.
Oh, man. Oh, man. Because I got something to say about that. Are we really progressing in this world? We have a beef with progression on this show. This show, Ancient Wisdom. But why is it that in the year 2025, next year around the corner, we're going to be listening to all AI-produced music and nobody cares? But at the same time, Poach postulates, and I believe correctly, that we're going to go back to jamming with friends. But what does that feel like? That feels like it has a somewhat spiritual connotation. Does it not?
I think I know the answer, man.
Oh my Lord, you think the hippies still won't get together in drum circles? Why? Because it feels good. You feel like you're talented, even though you're not. You could play out of time, nobody knows there's so many drums. I've done it.
I think why we have such a beef with progression is because it's forced progression. Whereas music is the dance. It's the progression itself. Music is plunging into the change
Man.
of progress because it already does it by itself. We don't need to force progress on anything. The world's already good at doing that. The universe is already progressing.
Lest
but
we
get
find
in the way.
ourselves in the past. Lest we find ourselves back where it all started. And you're doing it for its original reason, which maybe is not such a bad thing. But we must deny the demonic elements of it, which is the AI music. And as a theme for today's show, not bastardize what the true purpose of God's gift to us was. Bring it back to its root. AI, is it really all about efficiency? Efficiency, give me beats, give me shit, my vibe, no. Or is it always been about the spirit? My vibe at the festival.
Give me shit, give me beats.
Give me more, I
My
need a
vibe.
festival, I need 6 beats at once. Or was it never about that? Was it never really about my vibe? Because, how about this, right? How about this? In the past, if you listened to music, you were playing that music before there even shows, let's say.
That's true.
Or when you're practicing to play a show. 99% of the music was played to yourself to get better for God.
So what I hear you saying is...
What you hear me saying is that bitch at the festival didn't make that beat. She doesn't know what's going into it, but she still calls it her vibe.
I was going to agree to that. I was going to say, what,
And this has been Ancient Wisdom. Just kidding.
what about the Tao?
All right, y'all, let's get into my favorite section of the show, the Tao Te Ching, as translated by Mitch. I'll tell you what you heard. All right. Back in it. Mitch translates the Tao, chapter 34. The great Tao is all-pervading. It is to the left and to the right. The 10,000 things rely on it for life without fail. Merit is accomplished without praise. It rears them without mastership over them. Ever desireless, it can be named among the small things. The 10,000 things return to it, so it can be named among the great things. To the end, it does not claim greatness, therefore can be truly great. First impressions?
That perfectly ties into the show today.
Damn! Life is too deep.
It's all about attaining enlightenment and attaining the Tao without even trying. It does it on its own.
Perhaps the only way to, yeah, on its own. Yep.
It's to the left and it's to the right. It's all
It's
around.
everywhere, baby. Fuck you, Terrence McKenna.
Merit is accomplished without praise. That is the exact opposite of what everybody is doing today. They want praise to be merited to them
To be meritus.
so that they may be meritus.
To be meritizing each other.
Yeah. Give me the praise that I need so I think I have the merit that I want.
Damn. And what is that? Do you feel special with that little star on your chest, you know?
Oh my
It's a gold
God.
star.
Yes,
a
it's a
participation
gold star.
award. It's a
Oh,
participation
man.
award.
Deep. You get that trophy. Look. I feel good now.
Merit
That's
is
what it is.
accomplished without praise. If you're really good at your craft, no one notices.
God, do you think they feel a little hole in their heart when they get a participation trophy? Or do you think they
I
actually...
did. I totally did.
First-hand experience here.
Absolutely.
Hell yeah.
I don't know if that's the
Evan
case
came
now.
in last, but still got that trophy and felt
Of
great.
course there's a hole in that. you get angry.
What about the average person, though? What if, like, a fat piece of shit knew he was going to come in last, but he still got a trophy? Because he's special.
Maybe it actually worked on him.
You think so?
On the fat guy or like whatever the
Because I don't know. Comment, y'all.
Yeah.
Have you felt proud of your participation medal? Let us know. But it sounds pretty fucking sad. Get in shape, you fat fuck.
Don't walk the mile in middle school.
Yeah, dude. Dude, how are you gonna walk the mile? Like before the age of 65. And even that's a little embarrassing.
Before the age of 18.
Yeah, you're in middle school. God, dude, they shove kids in the classroom and they just get fat and have shitty parents and McDonald's and poison in their food supply. Darn, I'm sorry for y'all. We'll try to make this world a better place. The 10,000 things rely on it for life without fail. They rely on this, and merit is accomplished without praise. It doesn't have mastership over them, even though everything you're saying, it could be perceived that way. I rely on you. Aren't you my master? I rely on you.
And I think the master would know. The master would know to never steer the disciple or the student wrong. It knows what's best for you. It's like it doesn't even need you to ask.
Damn, so I'll ask, how does one rear without mastership?
The Tao.
There it is.
Yeah, that's the
Was
answer.
that your answer?
Yeah.
Okay. I think you're correct, Paul. Where's this one? Paul gets it. Oh, let's see.
I think you rear by not rearing, which is the Tao.
The Tao has no
Damn.
mastership over you. You must just accept the Tao.
So this one's pretty fun, right? Small things being desireless, such as the Tao. It rears them without mastership. Ever desireless, it can be named among the small things. Now, why is desireless named among the small things? My interpretation of the small things being desireless is sort of the small things are freedom, as in freedom is not nitpicking. Desirelessness is not criticizing everything because you have no desire for it. It is the small things, but it's the smallest things that we have the biggest judgment about. I wish Evan didn't do that thing. Is that really huge? But I'm also having this desire to control you.
Right.
and I'm not being Tao in that moment, the small things
Yeah,
are
like-
desireless.
Like, why does he breathe so loud?
Yeah,
Or something like
exactly.
that.
Is it the biggest deal? No, but I could make it the biggest deal.
Wow.
If I let it control me. And then, of course, great. The Tao is great because we return to it. What do you make of that? You could call it God. It's great. It is the thing that we return to after. It is that which is above our existence to a certain, from a certain angle.
Maybe that's saying death is the only effortless thing
That's
in
cool.
the human being's existence. Because as much as we try to be complex and fight against it, it gets us in the end.
Yeah, the big final one, of course. To the end, it does not claim greatness, thus can be truly great.
Oh, man. The deepest one.
I mean, I'll take analysis here, I'll say fairly self-explanatory, but like also deep AF. That which is truly great. Are you gonna respect the dude who's always talking about how dope he is?
Never.
Take it to a small level. It's like, nah. Even if he is dope, you're like, all right, I get it. Like, I don't really care that much about you. I can't care that much about you.
And remember when Jesus was healing people? I don't know exactly which case, but he's just like, go and tell nobody.
Don't tell anybody. Yeah, that's right.
And
And-
they told everyone.
Yeah, then he went and told everybody.
And that's why
but
we
he did
know
some
Jesus,
great things. Yeah.
You know?
Jesus, like, I hope he tells everyone. Yeah,
Man.
so true though. I mean, I think I put it in this way, getting analytical, getting spiritual with it. When you are not claiming greatness, what really happens on a spiritual level is that people start to trust you. They are drawn to you. They're attracted to you because there's no judgment. There's no one to claim greatness. Therefore, you are at ease with this person. Therefore, your greatness can come out as well, as long as it's not claimed. And this is on a smaller scale, mind you. This is just people. Although we're talking about the Tao, but the Tao is within people. And they say that enlightened people can wake up other enlightened people because the enlightened one is watching as the human struggles, as if they're a butterfly struggling to land, finally finding peace from whence they came. All things return to it. And I hope you guys return to ancient wisdom. Catch you next time. Thought he was dead, but he was just in the neighbor's truck bed, and he'll never find his way back home. Ooh.